always find the fault in a plan, in a decision, in something you're eating, in something you're doing. It's easy to be the critic, but it's not easy to be the one that comes up with solutions, the problem solver. But my goal with all of you is to help make you guys the problem solvers and to address the people who might be the critics. It's the easiest position to take, to be against everything and to criticize everything. And of course, there's pros and cons for everything. There's a spectrum where it comes to all of these decisions and all these plans, and there's probably a midline and whatever you want to say. The point is that at some point we have to make a decision and we have to act. And even the action that we take, there might be some downsides, if we want to call it that. But you have to weigh out the risk for the reward and decide what's good and what's bad in terms of pros and cons of what you're doing. And that doesn't mean you'll ever be perfect. Sometimes we make a decision, we see what the results are, and we adapt, we readjust and make another decision, maybe go in a different direction. It's never permanent. That's the beauty of all this. It's always just the next decision is the opportunity to make a change if it's necessary. But make the minimum amount of decisions, the minimum amount of changes, and as always, like the minimum effective dose to see the most amount of reward. But of course, you're going to hear people around you that are going to criticize, and maybe you might ask me something and I might make points for the pros and the cons, because as I've said before, I'm supposed to counterbalance a lot of what's going on. If someone's pushing too far one way, I'm going to balance it back the other direction, and then vice versa. Someone's going the other direction, I'm going to bring it back in this, because it's important to always look at all sides of something. But at some point, you have to make a decision, you have to act, and there's no sense in listening to the critics in those cases. So find what's right for you. For most people, that's the big rocks that we've talked about so many times. You take those and you put them into action and you make the tweaks as you measure your results. As you measure the outcome, you adjust the inputs. As you measure the outputs, you adjust the inputs. And that's really as simple as it needs to be and as complicated as it needs to be. We don't need to make this any more complicated than that. And as always, there's going to be critics. You might feel like you're one of them. I might be one of them sometimes. But the whole point is that's the easiest position to take. Make a decision, take the action, and get to the goal, and just stop listening to the critics.